Denmark. Denmark are tournament disruptors with a habit of gate-crashing parties. Hello, Euro 92 fairy tale. Recently, they've become remarkably consistent. 2021 Euros semi-finalists after knitting a deep, pressing togetherness identity. Then into Euro 2024 knockouts, before falling to the hosts in a wild, weather-interrupted night in Dortmund. The Danish model mixes academy brains, FC Nordsjælland Michelin, with tactical clarity. 4-3-3 that can morph on cue, great set pieces, huge team spirit. Known players? Christian Eriksen, the heart and heartbeat of the squad. Rasmus Højlund's vertical burst, Schmeichel's command, Højbjerg's bite. Wins link play, they punch above their population with smart preparation and calm under pressure. Famous for red and white Hummel kits and a fan base that sings from minute one. Trophy cabinet headline is still Euro 92, but the modern Danes are ever present at majors, hard to beat, and just one hot month from silver. Fun fact, they qualified for the 1992 Euros, even though they initially didn't, then showed up late and won the whole thing. At Euro 2024, they were organized and brave again, exiting in the last 16 to Germany. Switzerland. Switzerland are the ultimate tournament problem. Impossible to put away, always in the second week. Their brand is ruthless efficiency, compact shape, disciplined midfield, and just enough stardust to flip big nights. At Euro 2024, they dismantled the defending champions Italy in the last 16 with a mature pressing masterclass before bowing out to England on penalties in the quarters. Xhaka's quarterback passing, Akanji's elegance out of the back, and the forever big moment Shaqiri define the vibe. Historically, they've reached knockout phases at multiple World Cups, 2014, 2018, 2022, and made Euro quarters twice in a row, 2021, 2024. Known facts. Multilingual squad harmony is a feature, not a bug. The Swiss talent map spans Basel, Zurich, and migrant roots pathways that power the national pool. Has famous players like Granit Xhaka, Manuel Akanji, Xherdan Shaqiri, Breel Embolo, Ruben Vargas. They play with a clean, simple style, stay calm under pressure, and know how to challenge big teams. If they can score more in the box, they could become serious contenders for a trophy. Turkey. Turkey at their best are pure passion and pride. Euro 2024 showed why neutral fans love them. A fearless young team led by young Arda Güler, wild home atmospheres, and gritty, never-give-up defending. They stunned Austria in the last 16, with Mary Demiral scoring one of the fastest goals in Euros history, and Mert Gunak making a miracle save at the end, then pushed the Netherlands hard in a thrilling quarterfinal. History shows they can be streaky, like their World Cup 2002 bronze or Euro 2008 semis. But this new Turkey plays attacking football with skillful wingers and bold fullbacks. With stars like Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Arda Güler, Mary Demiral, and Kenan Yıldız, and big clubs like Fenerbahçe, Galatasaray, and Beşiktaş shaping the culture, they have the talent and energy to reach the semifinals when everything clicks. Euro 2024 proved they're truly back in Europe's elite mix. Austria. Austria have become every tactics fan's favorite team. Super organized, high-energy pressing, and smart movement under Ralf Rangnick. They won Euro 2024's tough group of doom by outworking and outsmarting bigger teams, before a narrow last 16 loss to Turkey that hinged on an early goal and a miracle save at the end. This is a modern, well-balanced side. Sabitzer holding things together, Baumgartner making clever runs, Lamer covering every blade of grass, and the defense stepping up, even without David Alaba. Austria are proof of what a clear identity can do. Win second balls, hit quick transitions, and punish mistakes. The Red Bull Academy system keeps producing talent, and this current generation is their best in decades. Regular tournament appearances, big upsets, and the feeling that with a top finisher, they could make a deep run. Key players: Sabitzer, Alaba, Baumgartner, Lamer, and Gregoritsch. Biggest achievement? Winning their brutal Euro 2024 group, respect fully earned. Morocco. Morocco rewrote World Cup history in 2022, the first African and Arab semi-finalists. Powered by a generational defense, Sayas, Aguerd, Bono's saves, and Hakimi's steal with Ziyech/En-Nesyri strikes. That run crowned years of investment in the Mohammed VI Academy and diaspora scouting. In 2024's AFCON, they shocked out in the last 16 to South Africa, proof that African tournaments are gauntlets even for favorites. But the Atlas Lions remain Africa's best balanced squad: elite fullbacks, big club experience, and swagger. Known facts: they beat heavyweights in Qatar. Walid Regragi's compact 4-1-4-1 bends but rarely breaks, and the fan base turns any stadium into Casablanca West. Stars: Achraf Hakimi, Yassine Bono, Bunu, Hakim Ziyech, Sofiane Amrabat, Youssef En-Nesyri. Achievements: 2022 World Cup semifinal, AFCON champions, 1976, CHAN/club success highlights depth. Morocco's next frontier is converting nearly into continental trophies on repeat. Senegal. Senegal are a modern African powerhouse. AFCON champions in 2021, a generation of European-hardened stars and youth teams that keep feeding the senior side. Tactically, they can cage you with its defense players like Koulibaly and Diallo, nick one via direct runs, then let Edouard Mendy close the door. In 2024's AFCON, they were the favorites, started perfectly, then got clipped by host Côte d'Ivoire on penalties in the last 16, a brutal reminder that knockout football is coin flippy. Known players: Sadio Mane, all-time talisman; Kalidou Koulibaly, Ismaïla Sarr, Papa Sarr. Identity: fast lanes down the wings, muscular midfield duels, and massive tournament experience. Academy to watch, Generation Foot, source of Mane. Achievements: AFCON 2021 champions, regular World Cup qualifiers, AFCON 2002 runners-up. The Lions of Teranga aren't going anywhere. Their timeline says, contend every AFCON, scare everyone at World Cups. Nigeria. Nigeria are pure box office, speed, flair, and endless talent from their massive diaspora. At AFCON 2023, played in early 2024, they started slow, but grew stronger with William Troost-Ekong leading at the back and Victor Osimhen constantly pulling defenses apart. They made it all the way to the final before falling to the hosts. Along the way, Ademola Lookman scored clutch goals, and goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali became a cult hero with his penalty heroics against South Africa. The Super Eagles have a sky-high ceiling when their midfield connects and their wingers cut loose. Big names: Victor Osimhen, a world-class striker currently playing for Galatasaray, Ademola Lookman, Samuel Chukwueze, Wilfred Ndidi, and Alex Iwobi. History backs them too. 3 AFCON titles, a legendary 1994 World Cup run, and Olympic gold in 1996. What they need now is consistency, building structure around their talent. But when Nigeria heats up, no one wants to face that front line. Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. The Elephants delivered a wild home tournament title at AFCON 2023. A group stage wobble, coach sacked mid-event, squeaked into knockouts as a best third place, then pure resilience under interim coach Emerse Faye. Sebastian Haller's winner in the final completed a redemption arc that felt like a movie. This generation mixes established names, Kessié, Haller, Gradel, Aurier, with rising defenders and crowd-roaring moments. Known facts: famed Academy ASEC Mimosas churns talents. Past icons include Drogba and Yaya Touré. Identity: physically dominant but increasingly technical, comfortable in both a back four and back three. Achievements: AFCON titles, 2015, 2023. With a home title in the bag, Côte d'Ivoire rejoined Africa's top tier of contenders and, with stability, can make deep World Cup runs again. Japan. Asia's standard setters are relentlessly modern. Press, combine, rotate, repeat. Japan own a record 4 Asian Cup titles and have qualified for every World Cup since 1998. The current pool: Kubo, Mitoma, Tomiyasu, Endo, Minamino, plays Champions League football weekly, so the Samurai Blue move at European speed. They exit the 2023 Asian Cup earlier than expected, quarterfinals versus Iran, but the long game is obvious. A conveyor belt of technically elite, tactically educated players who press like a club side. Known facts: J-League academies are elite. 2002 co-hosting turbocharged the system. Fan culture is famously respectful and loud. Identity: 4-2-3-1/4-3-3, inverted wingers, quick third man runs. Achievements: Asian Cup champions, 1992, 2000, 2004, 2011. World Cup round of 16 regulars. The next step is winning a World Cup knockout game against a blue blood, something that feels closer every cycle. South Korea. You can always count on South Korea to make their mark in major competitions. 10 straight World Cups, built on work rate, transitions, and star power. Son Heung-min and Kim Min-jae. Regionally, they're a sleeping giant. Early Asian Cup dominance, 1956, 1960, and then a decades-long itch to lift it again. In 2024, South Korea made it to the Asian Cup semifinals before a shock loss to Jordan, a run clouded by off-field drama, and a coaching shakeup. Still, the talent is undeniable. Son Heung-min's world-class finishing, Lee Kang-in's creativity, and a steady supply of strong center backs. Their style is fast and aggressive, pressing hard when fresh, striking on the counter, and dangerous from long range. The K-League keeps producing quality players, and more of their stars are gaining experience in Europe. With the right coach in place, the Tagook Warriors have what it takes to end their Asian Cup drought and make a deep run at the 2026 World Cup. Iran are Asia's perennial top seed. Three-time Asian Cup winners, 68-76, serial World Cup qualifiers, and a defensive reputation that's evolved into a tidy, possession-capable 4-3-3. The 2023 Asian Cup run showed their ceiling. They knocked out Japan with a furious late surge before falling to eventual champs Qatar in a 5-goal semi. Mehdi Taremi and Sardar Azmoun headline the attack. Alireza Jahanbakhsh adds end product, and the backline remains rugged. Known facts. Team Melli's domestic league churns resilient pros. Their diaspora adds European seasoning. Identity, stacked forward line, wingers who cut in, and big game experience. They're usually one clinical chance from a famous upset on the world stage. Achievements. Asian Cup three-peat, 68, 72, 76. Regular qualifiers since the 90s. The mission for 2026 is simple: escape a World Cup group and finally win a knockout. Australia. The Socceroos are serial overachievers. Relentless pressing, aerial menace, and ridiculous togetherness. They won the Asian Cup in 2015, and in 2024 were seconds from a semifinal before South Korea's late equalizer and extra-time stunner ended their run in the quarters. Graham Arnold's team blends A-League products with Europe-based grinders. The shirt is heavy, in a good way. Known players: Matthew Ryan, captain keeper, Harry Souter, set-piece skyscraper, Jackson Irvine, and a rotating cast of tireless wingers. Identity: 4-2-3-1/4-4-2 out of possession, waves of crosses, and elite set-piece routines. Historic facts: 2006 World Cup round of 16 broke a 32-year drought. Now they qualify like clockwork. Ceiling: a fiery month from the strikers away from a continental title push or World Cup last 16 or last 8 run. Mexico: El Tri are CONCACAF's big brand. Massive fan base, iconic kits, and a Gold Cup empire. Recent years have been bumpy, but the floor remains high. Mexico won the 2023 Gold Cup and routinely produces technical, brave footballers. Copa America 2024 stung, group stage exit. But the pathway to 2026 at home soil is obvious. Integrate the kids with the leaders and get the number 9 flying. Known players: Herving Chucky Lozano, Edson Alvarez, Santiago Gimenez, Guillermo Ochoa, folk hero. Known facts: Liga MX academies and US-born/Mexican eligible talents widen the pool. The stadium atmospheres are among the world's best. Identity: possession with bite, overlapping fullbacks, and relentless wing play. Achievements: record Gold Cups, 2 World Cup round of 16 streaks spanning decades. If the finishing spikes, Mexico can beat anybody in a one-off. United States? The USMNT have moved from potential to expectation. A golden age of Europe-based minutes: Pulisic, McKennie, Adams, Reyna, Balogun, Dest. Delivered a CONCACAF Nations League three-peat in 2024. But Copa America 2024 was a gut check. Out in the groups after a costly loss to 10-man Panama and a narrow defeat to Uruguay. Identity: pressy, vertical, athletic. Best when the tempo is high and the wingers attack early space. Known facts: NCAA/MLS Academies to Champions League pipeline is now normal. The 2026 co-host spotlight is massive. Achievements: 2002 World Cup quarterfinal, multiple Gold Cups, and that back-to-back-to-back Nations League crown. The missing piece is consistency in the final third. If a true number 9 erupts, the US can punch into the last 8 tier at home in 2026. Canada jumped levels fast, topped 2022 qualifying, then used Copa America 2024 to prove the leap wasn't a one-off, reaching the semifinals and finishing 4th with a compact 5 at the back, quick counters, and Alphonso Davies' jetpack overlaps. Jonathan David gives them a real finisher. Ismael Koné's emergence adds midfield sauce, and a no-fear defensive block travels well. Known facts: fresh talent pipeline, CF Montreal, Toronto FC, Vancouver Whitecaps academies, plus European development. Growing domestic league, CPL, and a locker room culture of belief. Identity: fast wide attacks, brave line height, and ruthless transitional defending. Achievements: 2000 Gold Cup champions, 2024 Copa Semi, Men's World Cup return in 2022, and co-hosts in 2026. Canada aren't a cute story anymore. They're a bracket problem. Colombia are in a golden groove. Long unbeaten streak rolling into the 2024 Copa America final. Powered by a Renaissance James Rodriguez, Luis Diaz's electricity, and Jefferson Lerma's timing. Under Nestor Lorenzo, they press smarter, swarm second balls, and flood the box with late runners. The atmosphere? A sea of yellow fans and pure rhythm in the stands. Copa 2024 showcased both swagger and grit. A 5-0 quarter-final demolition of Panama, a 10-man stand to beat Uruguay in the semis, and an extra-time heartbreak in the final. Known facts: Atlético Nacional, Junior, Millonarios, historic clubs that feed the soul. The 90s generation set the cool. Today's side brought the results back. Achievements: Copa America champions, 2001, 2014 World Cup quarterfinals, 2024 Copa runners-up with a record-setting unbeaten run into the final. Ecuador. La Tri are young, vertical, and fearless. The production line, Independiente del Valle Academy glow-up, is real, and it shows in how Ecuador attack space and win duels. At Copa America 2024, they were organized and dangerous, pushing the eventual champions to a penalty shootout in the quarterfinals after a late equalizer from Kevin Rodriguez. Known players: Moises Caicedo, midfield destroyer-setter playmaker; Piero Hincapié, ball-playing CB; Kendry Paez, teenage wonder; Ener Valencia, record scorer. Identity: athletic lines, aggressive rest defense, and quick diagonals to break presses. Historic facts: World Cup regulars this century. U20 success foretells more. The next step is turning brilliant spells into 90-minute knockout dominance. If that arrives, Ecuador look like South America's scariest riser. And that's the full tour of world football's Tier 2 powerhouses. Teams that might not always make the headlines like Brazil, Argentina, or France, but keep the game alive with chaos, grit, and brilliance. If you love this breakdown and want more deep dives, weird stats, and straight-up honest football talk, hit that subscribe button and join us here at Soccer Deconstructed.